I'm Chef Mike with Wusthof Trident of America. Today we're at J.L. Hufford and we're going to talk about serrated knives. And we have different sizes of serrated knives, but really all serrated knives are used the same and for the same purpose. A serrated knife looks like a saw, so you use it like a saw, meaning that it's a back and forth action. You never want to try to use this knife and use it like a chef knife or a paring knife, because if you do, really bad things are going to happen. It's really a back and forth motion. Now, what most people don't know about these knives is there's several different benefits to this. If you look at the tip of this knife, it almost looks like an X-Acto knife. And the reason for that is, as you're cutting through, and you have artisan breads like this, the bottom has a tendency to be really dense, really hard, because it's baked on a brick oven. What this allows you to do is tip this knife up and drag it through, and it's going to break through that really crusty bottom. Now, the other thing with this knife is, it's designed to pull itself through, so you don't have to push down on it. If you've ever taken baguettes or even something like angel food cake, and you go to use a serrated knife and you're crushing your product down, that's because you're not letting the knife do the job. So we're going to start with the same pinch grip that we talked about earlier. We're going to start on the top. I'm just going to draw it back and forth, and you can see once it engages, it drags itself through. Once I get to that crusty bottom, I'm going to tip up, I'm going to pull it through, and that's going to take that piece off. So the tip on this is great for getting through that really crusty stuff. The serrated edge is great for piercing the outer layer, tearing through whatever you're cutting. So it's great for crusty bread, soft bread, angel food cakes, things like that. Tomatoes, any type of soft vegetables, even melons. It's a great knife. So anything that you really need a saw for, that you need to saw through, it works great. Now I want you to know you shouldn't use this knife on meat or cheese, because it's a tearing knife and it's going to tear through your meat, tear through your cheese. Now we also have a double serrated bread knife. This just won a 2014 Housewares Design Award. It's really a cool knife. You'll notice that when I cut with that first one, that we had quite a few crumbs on the table. This one actually double cuts, so there's a lot less resistance on the knife. Really easy to use. It's a 9-inch knife, so it can really do larger pieces of bread. We're going to put it on the top just the same. We're going to start back and forth. Once it gets into the product, it's going to pull itself through really easily. Tip it up, pull it through this way, break that piece of bread off or slice that piece of bread off. This one too is also great for tomatoes, fruits, you know, anything that you need a saw for. Now we have several different sizes. This one we call our tomato knife. Kind of the cool thing about this is it's really sized for tomatoes. It's, you know, just about your biggest tomato that you're going to have cut is going to be about this big around. So you just put it on the front. It's the same. It's a sawing action, a back and forth. And the tip of this, even if you're serving, you can use the tip to pick up slices of tomato and serve them to people, move the slices around. So that's a tomato knife. Then if you have small jobs, I don't know, if you've ever taken a regular paring knife and went to cut lemons, limes, tomatoes, small tomatoes, and your paring knife might not be super sharp, and you go to cut and you kind of just are on the skin going back and forth, and then you'll take the tip and you make little lines so you can get your slices. A serrated paring knife takes that away. So think lemons, limes, anything that is hard to get through that skin. This is going to be great for piercing that skin and going through. So any of your smaller products, even think like pepperoni, like the harder salamis, things like that that are smaller. This is a great little saw for getting through those. We also have the scalloped edge knife, which can be used for everything that you use a regular serrated knife. It also has the ability to do meat and cheese because it's a designed slicer, where the serrated knife is a designed pierce and tear knife. So this is the same. You can see it's got that same tip. We're just going to go back and forth, get down to the bottom here. We're going to tip it up, pull it through, able to get through that dense, crusty layer on the bottom. And the nice thing about this knife is that it's offset, so it keeps your knuckles off the cutting board. Also great for tomatoes and fruits, but you know, think deli knife, meat, cheese, lettuce, tomato, bread. It's good from one job to the next without having to trade out knives. So that's our assortment of serrated knives and the reverse scallop knife.